excitingly as he could. That was me as a young preacher, all right? As I've gotten older, I have changed my method considerably. Now I spend time making sure that everything I say is going to be up on a PowerPoint. I use illustrations. I make sure I will even do short skits in the middle of my sermons. I do so many things differently as time has gone on, but I had to have a different mindset in order for me to change anything. I had to change the idea that the only way to really preach was to preach this way. I had to see it differently. I wanted to be able to relate to the young people in my audience who often were just kind of falling asleep until we got revved up, and got going there. And then, then they'd wake up because there was too much noise in the place. But now, my young people now are captivated by the imagery that I use, by the plays or the skits that I use. I'm an entirely different person. When I go to another church or something like that, the first thing I ask them is, do you have PowerPoint projector so that I can know, am I going to be able to be in my old mode or my new mode? To be able to convey the messages that I do. So I conduct my sermons more like I do my workshops and the conferences than I do when I'm just preaching. A very, very different me. I'm going to read what George Bernard Shaw says again. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Okay? Got to be able to change your mind. Don't be an old stubborn mule. Okay? Hard-headed. Just got to stay the same. Everything must change. You can't even find an 8-track player. It changed. Okay? Now, I thought cassettes would be with us for the rest of eternity. Until Jesus came back, I just knew we were going to have cassettes. Cassette players, hard to find. Nowadays, people, I had to beg and plead the other day trying to find a CD, a blank CD. I just wanted to record something on CD because nowadays it's hard drives. Nowadays it's flash drives. It's SD cards. All of those things that used to be. People put a lot of time, energy, and money into Blu-ray disc. Blu-ray disc was a wonderful, wonderful idea. But now people are turning on Netflix, okay? They're watching Hulu. They're not even, my DVD collection is just getting spider webs and dust because I'm going to my bedroom, I'm going to my Apple TV, I'm going to click on and watch a movie on demand. The world is changing. It's not like it used to be. All right? I remember one time I wanted to buy an old used car, and I got in the car, and I was getting ready to, I was looking around, and I was just, wow, and I realized the dashboard is so different. I realized everything about it was different, and they had what at that time was the most luxurious item that you could get, and that was a built-in cassette player. Yeah. Obsolete. Totally obsolete. Try to order a brand new cassette these days, okay? Just doesn't work. So things actually do change. Okay, let's see. Here's another wonderful quote. It says, it takes courage to let go of the familiar and embrace the new. It takes courage to let go of the familiar and embrace the new. Wow. It takes a strong person. It takes a person who is very secure with themselves to be able to actually let go of that they're familiar with and let go of what they're familiar with and embrace the new. Wow. Let's see. Pastor Eddie Cross just wrote, and he says, the church tends to be 10 years behind technology. We are offering CDs, and business is using links and flash drives. You are so right. Oh, yeah. The church is behind. Yeah, it took the church years to shift over from, you got a free cassette, a free tape of the service, or tapes for $3 and $5. Then finally somebody decided, let's sell CDs. You know, we went through that change too. Selling CDs, yeah, we had a whole stack of CDs that just stayed there, never got sold. And we had to realize we had to make changes. So we started live streaming instead of the CDs. And then people could do just what you said, Pastor Eddie. They could just choose a link and listen to it anytime they want to on YouTube or something similar. Yes, we have to embrace change. We have to let go of the familiar and embrace the new. The familiar becomes easy to us. You know, we knew what to do when a cassette would get raveled up. We knew how to just open that thing up. I became so good. You know, I had a little screwdriver and I would open it up and I would just stretch out my little tape that got crinkled in it, roll that tape back up and just put those screws back. I became good because I loved keeping my music, all right? Then somebody introduced digital technology. Wow. What happened to the analog sound? Digital technology was so different. But guess what? I have not unraveled a cassette tape in probably 15 years now, maybe 20 years, okay? It's a different world. I was looking the other day, I was watching not television, but I decided to watch a movie that I had not seen in years, okay? A movie that had come on the screen many, many years ago, but I had never watched it. It's called To Kill a Mockingbird. I heard that movie. I've heard the name. I've heard the term used, To Kill a Mockingbird, but I never knew what it was about. As I watched the movie was, I think, 1929. The movie was a great movie. Now, it was slower. They had scenes in the movie that today would never make it to the screen. All right? What I mean is that they had little pieces in the movie that they used to build the character. That in today's movie, I told my wife after about 30 minutes of the movie, I said, you know what? In today's way of doing movies, this movie would not have even started until about here. 30 minutes in the movie. They were doing so much character building and so much establishing of the times and the era and all that kind of stuff that it took that much time to get to the main point of the movie. Now, the main point of the movie probably lasted about an hour, but it was wonderful to see character development like you don't see today. And to see how the culture was at that time. It was in rural Alabama, and the culture was entirely different. Manners, respectability was expected. It was a part. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. All of those things was a part of the time. It was great to watch. So some of the changes that we go through today are changes that are because the times are different. And because the times are just different, people are different. They have been able to let go of the familiar, and they're embracing the new. Okay, hey, let's see. Here's another one. Okay, look at this. It says, a woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. Okay, now I think women can probably relate to this. Cutting your hair gives you a whole new look. Giving you a whole new look usually we would create a whole new response. Maybe some of you have seen there's a television sitcom that used to come on, and it used to always do what they called makeovers. And so people could submit pictures and videos of folks who they would take pictures of them at their job, maybe at home, maybe a teenager would take a picture of their mother, and you would see these people and their lifestyle that they had developed. I remember one picture with this lady. She had long hair, like down to her waist, hippie hair, okay? Just long, straight hair. She went to work every day like that. And so somebody decided to do a makeover on her. They brought her in. They did this makeover, and the woman was completely different. I mean, she began to strut around and walk like she knew she was different. She knew she had it going on. But guess what? Back in the day when she first developed that hippie hair, okay, she probably had it going on then. But she didn't allow change to take place. A woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. I love it. Great quote. Let's see, that's by Coco Chanel. Or Chanel, whatever. Wow, this is a nice short one. But get this. It says, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. That began to be one of the hallmarks in my ministry, that I began to seek to bring change in the lives of people. Challenge them with change. Challenge them to change. Challenge them to go outside of the realm of the expected. Challenge them to go beyond what they have always done or always seen. Challenge them. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Some people embrace change, the challenge of change very well. But I've seen other people. I've preached in churches where I would challenge the people and the pastor was mad at me. I remember many, many years ago being at a church that was a small little, hometown church, and I was invited to speak. And when I spoke, I challenged the people in such a way. I was told that the way that what I was doing was something only the pastor was supposed to do. Yeah, it was amazing. I thought that a healthy church was a church that was led by the Spirit. And whether the Spirit speaks through the pastor or speaks through one of the kids, it's the Spirit. But they didn't believe in that. And so I was challenged, okay? I was challenged to change. All right? Okay, let's see. We got time for a couple of more. Tony Robbins says, change is inevitable. Progress is optional. Change is inevitable. Progress is optional. So you can agree to progress, but change, whether you agree with it or not, it's still going to happen, all right? It's still going to take place. Let's see, I got one more I think we got time for. Here it is. It says, let go of things you can't change. Focus on things you can. This whole day, this whole program has been about change. It's been about healthy change, all right? It's been about change that's good for us to embrace. Things that maybe otherwise we would never want to embrace. As we come to the end of this program today, I just have to tell you that I have found in my
y'all didn't hear me, I said
change has been great for me. I'm glad I'm not the person I was at 20, 30, or 40 years old. I'm glad. I'm glad that life and the changes around me, my open heart surgery has changed me. My diabetes has changed me. My divorce, two of those have changed me. My new marriage, thank God, has changed me. My new family has changed me. All of these things that have changed. And so I am going to end this segment by this final quote. Sometimes the things we can't change end up changing us. Sometimes the things we can't change end up changing us. I'm glad that God allowed circumstances to change around me so that it would change who I am. I'm better because of it. I'm a greater man of God because of it. I'm a better businessman because of it. I think I'm a better speaker. I'm a better facilitator. I'm a better facilitator of workshops and conferences because of the changes that have taken place in me. So I hope that it's been a help. Oh, Pastor Eddie Cross says again, I appreciate your program. You're engaging and informative. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that as well, Pastor Cross. Listen, everybody, please embrace the changes that are coming into your life. You can get this program